The daily stand-up is the most hated meeting by developers and software engineers, because it makes them feel stressed, it makes them feel pressured, it can make them feel anxious, it can make them feel alone, it can make them believe they have to justify their existence every single day. Some of them will dread the moment they have to join the stand-up, and it will leave them thinking if they have chosen the right career for them. They lose hope for the future and just pray for better days. But it was not meant to be like that. When it emerged as a meeting by developers for developers, it was with the intention of speeding up processes and having less bureaucracy. But nowadays it has become the most misused and twisted element of any team that is supposed to be following an agile methodology. The daily stand-up is a classic meeting of Scrum, and it has been adopted widely. It's supposed to be a 15-minute max meeting where developers join together to inspect the current progress and adapt their work towards their sprint goal. Unfortunately, the people's misunderstanding of what the stand-up is and its purpose has made it the most ineffective meeting and the one that developers hate the most. Let's explore some reasons of why this happened. First things first, the Scrum Guide makes it very clear that the daily stand-up is a meeting that is carried by developers with the sole intention of helping them adapt their work towards the completion of the sprint goal. It explicitly specifies that managers and product owners shouldn't be part of it, unless they are actively working on a sprint task, and in that case, they should act as another developer during the meeting. But there is a reason for this to be specified in the Scrum Guide, and it's that it's at the very heart of the daily stand-up that everyone should be equal during the meeting. It's the very basic definition of a team working together towards a goal, helping each other, and a will to succeed despite finding obstacles in the process, without any shame or judgment. This rarely ever happens. Often you'll have managers and product owners wanting to take an active role in it, and given their inherent position of power, they'll turn the stand-up from a collaboration and planning meeting by developers and engineers into a report meeting dominated by management. This leads to the second reason, and it is that the daily stand-up can easily become a daily status update meeting. Developers, and in particular good developers, hate this because they know that the progress in software development is not linear, and so updating the status every day is just pure noise. At the same time, they have no need to talk any BS to their managers about their progress and to justify their existence when they already know that the progress is going to be reviewed in sprint review at the end of the sprint. Very related to this is that the daily stand-up can easily become a great tool for micromanagement. The combination of having your manager in the room, the misunderstanding of the purpose of the daily stand-up, and the fact that you have to tell what you did yesterday and what you're gonna do today has mistakenly given green light to bad managers to feel empowered to micromanage engineers. Very quickly, bad managers will try to start to control what you are doing instead of trusting you to do the right job. But we know that good developers won't work any better because of this extra pressure and extra control mechanisms. Another reason is that the stand-up can easily turn too long, way above the 15 minutes max recommendation. Given the other reasons combined, having their managers there, having to give an update of everything that they are doing, and feeling the pressure of being micromanaged, developers usually start to ramble on, giving unnecessarily details of what they are doing that don't help you or anyone in the team to do a better job, missing the point of the stand-up, turning it from a collaborative environment into a one that everyone is just waiting for their turn to give their speech to satisfy their manager. And the last reason is the format. The 3 questions format that is usually used by teams to run the stand-up, that is going person by person, answering the 3 questions: what did you do yesterday, what are you going to do today, and do you have any blockers, was created as a suggestion for teams to structure their speech and make it more effective, but it is by no means a requirement. In fact, do you know that the latest Scrum Guide has decided to drop the suggestion of the 3 questions format for the daily stand-up? This is because it didn't produce the collaboration that it was supposed to help with. Good developers hate this format because it focuses too much on status reports and having to justify their work instead of collaboration and planning ahead. Having to go person by person makes the stand-up focus too much on individual progress instead of team progress towards their sprint goal. So we talk about the reasons why developers end up hating the daily stand-up. Let's now look into some things that you and your team could do to get a healthier, better, and more productive daily stand-up. But before we jump into it, if you're enjoying this video, consider subscribing to my channel so you don't miss any other videos like this one. Put first things first and go back to the origin of the stand-up. Remember that the stand-up is a meeting run by developers for developers to create a quick, collaborative environment where everyone can help each other in the pursuit of the sprint goal. Forget about giving explanations to your manager and instead focus on your teammates and helping each other when you need so. Drop the 3 questions format and instead focus on work streams and collaboration. Avoid targeting individuals' progress and instead focus on how the sprint goal can be achieved. A good idea could be to inspect the progress of each individual task instead of going person by person, and to think what's the plan ahead to complete the story instead of focusing on the past and what has already been completed. Make a stand-up feel like an opportunity instead of a requirement of part of the job. Drop any attendance requirements and instead start from an empty stand-up with no hard rules except of being under an allocated time for each individual or workstream. This will make everyone feel more comfortable and committed to it, and to use their time wisely for their and their team's advantage to improve the chances of completing the sprint goal instead of focusing on status reports and management. In the end, if you cannot make these adjustments and you still feel like you are not getting any value from the stand-up, just stop doing it. Remember that it's at the core of any agile methodology that the team self-organizes, so in the end it's up to you and your colleagues to decide what works best for you. I suggest stop doing the stand-up for some time or reducing its frequency, and that will highlight the necessity for having the stand-up or the lack of it, and from there on it will be much more obvious what kind of stand-up you and your team need, if any. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment below telling me, do you enjoy the daily stand-up? Are you getting any value from it?